Do you have someone in your life that's the queen of your household or the queen of your world? Well, I'm going to show you how to make a crown in this video for a special occasion or for whenever. So if you want to learn how to do it, well, then follow me. What's up, Glue Dots? I'm Elaine, the Midnight Crafter, and tonight's DIY I am making for a very special, amazing, and beautiful woman who I've known for many years, and she is about to come up on her 100th birthday. Amazing. This woman is amazing. Anyway, I love her to pieces, and the only thing that I could think to give someone who's 100 years old, who has everything, aside from big hugs and kisses and lots of love, was a crown to celebrate her birthday with. So I'm going to show you how to make that using some very simple items, and I think you're going to like it. Anyway, before we get to that though, I would love it if you join our Glue Dot family by hitting that subscribe button right here down below, and make sure you hit that bell next to it. It will inform you every time I upload a new video. Also, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you like my videos, and a comment down below because I really do love hearing from you. Another thing not to forget is down in that description box. A lot of you don't ever get down there, but there's really important stuff like how to get in touch with me, how to enter to win a very cute little bling owl keychain, and I do that drawing the first of the month, and also the items that you'll need for this project. So without too much further ado, let's get to the project. So the very first thing we're going to do before we start out here is I got this lace at Joann Fabrics. You can get, there's various kinds of lace. Just get something that looks crown-like to you, but I really like the way this one looked, so I'm going to use this. And then any can, depending on the size of crown that you want, I'm going to use this, I think it's a quart size, yeah, 1 quart, so it doesn't really matter what the product is, but if you have something else, the key is just to get something that's straight up and down. So you're going to go ahead and measure out your piece of lace and go all the way around with a bit of overlap so that you have something to attach it to. And then if you find kind of a good spot in the lace that you want to cut it, do that. Otherwise, just wherever is fine. I'm going to cut kind of in between the patterns so that I can use that other piece of lace for something else if I want to. So you can see I can fit it all the way around with a little bit of overlap there to hold it together. So the next thing we're going to do is cover your can or whatever you're using with some type of just clear plastic wrap. Okay, then tuck those ends down, so nothing too complicated so far. So then you're going to take your piece of lace. Now I have a piece of parchment paper laid down here, and I love parchment paper. I don't know, do you guys use parchment paper? I have almost completely stopped using foil because I love parchment paper for baking on and for roasting vegetables and whatever. Anyway, okay, so now I'm going to be taking my Mod Podge. And oh, by the way, if you don't have parchment paper, you can use wax paper, you can use foil, just anything non-stick. So I'm going to take my Mod Podge and I'm just going to spread it kind of all over. Now you want to make sure that you do get this covering everything. Some people like to water this down a bit to have it go a little further. I'm just using it straight. That's how I did it. You don't want to use an excessive amount, but you do want to make sure that the thing is entirely covered. If you use too much, it will clog up the holes in there and then it won't look as nice. But if you don't put enough, then you will also have spots on the lace that do not only don't get firm, but they also, you can tell that they are not covered. The color is different. The lace has a dry look as opposed to the part that's covered with the Mod Podge, which will have a wet look to it, kind of a little bit darker coloring. So scrunch it around too, like I said, so you don't get the holes clogged up in your lace. You want to be able to still see the pattern of the lace because we are going to be spray painting this. Okay, once you're pretty confident that all of your lace is covered with the Mod Podge, you're going to take your can or of whatever it is, and you're going to go ahead and lay this on there and form it all the way around until you get your closed circle for your crown. I've been wanting to do this project for a few years now. I've actually had this lace sitting in my stash for literally a few years. So I'm finally getting to it because I thought it would be such an awesome thing for this awesome, amazing woman who's turning 100. I mean, what do you give someone who's turning 100? Okay, so once you get that on there, make sure that it's on there really stuck well and evened out where you want it, because it's gonna be stuck like that, basically. Then we're gonna put this aside and let it dry. Now it's best to let it dry 24 hours, and that way it will be nice and solid and it will be a great shape. I'm gonna put a tiny bit more Mod Podge at my seam because I feel like it's just not really wanting to hold together. Needs just a little extra boost there. So I wanted to show you, here's a couple other options of lace that I have that I had bought for this same type of project. This is the one I ended up using, so you can kind of see it's quite a bit bigger, but these are some other options. Maybe if you want to make just something a little more delicate, small, maybe something for a little girl. These are, you would do them exactly the same way. Okay, so this is all nice and dry now. I'm just gonna jiggle and wiggle it a little bit and work on taking the saran wrap off. So this actually ended up being a couple days later. So just slide it right off your can. Now the thicker the lace, this is something I've discovered from doing a few of these because I showed you the different laces to use. The thicker the lace, the more stiff the crown will be. So I'm going to show you in a second here. So here you go. This is off now, and then I still have that saran wrap. So you just kind of peel that away from it. Now, if you do this maybe 8 or 10 hours after you initially, put the Mod Podge on there, then it may still be damp on the inside. And if that's the case, you want to peel this all away and then stand it up and let it just dry from the inside, because sometimes that plastic keeps it from drying. So here's what it looks like off the saran and everything. It's got a fairly good stiffness, firmness to it. So I'm going to show you some of the other ones now that I have actually finished with some of the lace that this one is the medium thickness. So this is the thickest lace I had. This is a medium thickness. You can see it's still a little more flimsy, but it does hold up pretty well as far as stay standing. The other one that I did here is the thinner lace, and it's really flimsy. So this part, once I put the stones on, it's heavy and it's flopping. So I'm gonna have to figure out a plan for that. I think what I'm gonna do on this one, because it's thin lace, so if you do end up with that problem with thin lace, what I'm probably gonna do is get a pipe cleaner and form it to that size and then glue it to the inside, and then maybe make a loop here, which I'm gonna show you that. Okay, so since this one is so floppy, and you can see it's flopping over, I'm gonna go ahead and use this pipe cleaner. I took 2 pipe cleaners and I twisted them together. What I'm gonna do, because I want to have a little bit to reinforce this to get it to stay up, so I'm just gonna give a little bend around my finger and make kind of a little loopy thing. And this is also where the joint of it was, so it should be a little stronger. And then I'm going to take and make the round part to go around the rest. So the other thing is that you want to make sure, I use this quart size can for this, but if you use a larger one, you may also have that problem of things being a little too floppy. So though these crowns are pretty small around, they're kind of meant to be on the top of the head and then kind of pinned on with hairpins. So, all right, I'm putting that in the center there, and then I'm just gonna glue that all the way around so that I have a little more reinforcement for my crown. If you guys have any other ideas for somehow to get this to be a little more stable for the thinner lace, then just let me know. I would love to hear your ideas. I'm always open for suggestions because you guys come up with amazing ideas. So here is the spray painted crown. Love the way it turned out. The gold and the silver, the metallic, just looks so awesome on these. It makes it look like metal. So just as a reference here, I'm going to show you, this is what the lace was like before and after I sprayed it. So what we're going to be doing now is I have some gemstones that I've kind of already picked out. Now I have a link in the description box below if you're interested in getting the stones that I have here. There's a huge bag. It's, I don't know, I think it's a 1 pound or something, or 2 pound bag that I got from Amazon that has a huge assortment of different sizes, colors, and shapes of these big, gigantic size ones. And then another bag that has an assortment of colors and sizes of the smaller ones. Now these, I went through and picked out all the clear ones, which took forever, but I did it to speed up my process now. And then I picked out just a few gemstones that I wanted specifically for this project. But I highly recommend, and it's very worth it, to get that big giant bag from Amazon. If you do projects that you're going to be using these, it's so much more economical really than even Dollar Tree in the long run. So what we're going to be doing now is gluing our gemstones on randomly onto our crown here. So figure out how you want to put them. Make sure that the seam is in the back when you start, and go ahead and figure out how you want to lay them out. Now you can use only your glue gun if you'd like, but I'm not completely sure how well that's going to hold up in the long run. I think it should be okay because I think it will adhere nicely to these. But just for a little added security, you may want to use your E6000 as well. And I really want these to stick since I'm giving them as a gift. So I'm going to start here in the front. And for different styles of lace, obviously you're going to be using different shapes and stuff. These are a bit big for using on this lace. So you would kind of plan accordingly and do whatever, you know, whatever works for the lace you picked and for the size gemstones that you have. If you're enjoying my channel, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. What would you do differently? My husband thinks it's kind of a small crown, but I like it kind of, it's one of those sit on the top of the head crowns. If you want to make it bigger, go for it. Whatever you like, it's up to you. It's your craft. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these up. Oh, and by the way, you can see I painted this one silver. This one I actually spray painted with the copper color, and then I sprayed a little bit of gold over it on top of the copper, so it gives kind of a neat look. And then this one here has the gold. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you all of those. Don't forget to give me that thumbs up, guys. All right, let's check them out. I did.
You loved it.
How are you doing?
Oh, you look so nice.
Love you. Happy birthday! Happy 100th birthday!
100.
I know. Okay, we're going to have your before video and your after video. So this is my Miss K. I adore her to pieces, and she is 100 years old. And she has her queen crown on because she is the queen. And I love my Miss K. She's the best. So you guys are all getting to meet her. You're so lucky. She's the best. I wish you could meet her in person and know her like I do. All right, you guys, you're so lucky. See you later.
I thank God for granting me 100 years. And I love all my family, my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and my Elaine.
And I love you too.